It's time for the Lowco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Arraj.
Hey, Lowco Sports fans. Welcome to the Lowco Sports Lowdown. Whole crew here in virtual studio. Max Arraj, Wes Kerr, Justin Jarrett with you on a Thursday night, which means it's Lowco Pigskin preview night, boys. We'll go through the news of the day here, but then we'll kind of shift gears and set the stage for week one under the Friday night lights. Got a full slate tomorrow, 12 games in total, but the first two of the slate getting underway tonight with JP2 playing at home and Hilton Head High on the road. Seahawks are rolling at Stall, 58-0 at last report, and the clock's been running for quite some time now. It was 31-0 after the first quarter, so they got off hot. We've got the link out there if Coach Payne is able to find a way to join us after the game and give us some insight. But it's all good things for the Seahawks tonight. Not so much over at JP2. You guys were over there, and they were kind of overmatched early on against Lawrence Manning. Put up a little bit of a fight at the end and put up some points. But did we have a final on that?
Right now it is 41-17 in favor of Lawrence Manning. Probably late in the ball game at this point.
Yeah.
It was 27-3 halftime. JP2 fell behind early, and they played admirably defensively when it came to stopping the run. But Lawrence Manning was able to get some long balls, get some past them, and connect on some long passing plays to open the scoring. JP2 had a couple chances to at least make this one a respectable contest midway through that first half, but untimely interception and then a fumble after that when they got inside the 20, and they made a quarterback change midway through. Of course, Connor Brown started, but then they went to Alan Wolf, who played a little bit last year. When I remember I saw him play once when Christian Tilton was injured and out for that game, and Wolf kind of impressed me that night, and he did as well here in a tough matchup against a very strong Lawrence Manning defense. Just kind of outmatched them. Some tremendous defensive linemen up front, some big guys they'd match up with, and sometimes it be that way where you find some strong athletes on the other side.
Sometimes it do.
Yeah, and it's a different level up there. For a Lawrence Manning team that seems to always reload and get some talented guys, especially defensively. And I will say JP2 was able to make a couple plays happen, but they just couldn't string much together until it was well too late in terms of coming back in this ball game. But I still think this JP2 team will be competitive, but their schedule does not get much easier. They've got several difficult matchups against Lowco squads and other schizo opponents coming up. But I still say that certainly the effort was there for Milligan and JP2, but it's just a couple of plays that they just did not execute on were the key reasons why they fell behind early.
Yeah. It's just those mistakes costed them greatly. Because, at one point it was a 13-point game in favor of Lawrence Manning for throughout the first quarter and most of the second quarter. And then, towards the end of the second quarter, those mistakes started to pile up for JP2, and it costed them greatly because at one point they were in the ball game. They had a chance to actually make it a 7-point game, and then just mistake after mistake. I wouldn't say it's disappointing for JP2, but I would think I think, with this Lawrence Manning team, it's another level of football with Lawrence Manning. Those guys were just bigger, faster, stronger in every aspect of this game. So, you didn't expect much out of JP2, but I credit them for the fight that they put up, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because they made some great plays defensively. They had an interception at one point in the game. That defense is showing that they can keep this team in the ball game, but the offense, it was just a bit all over the place for the offense tonight. Just mistakes left, right, and center for the offense. They're going to need to do some work with the offense and the defense as well. They made some mistakes on defense as well, but defense looked a lot better than the offense tonight for JP2.
Yeah, it's now 48-25, by the way. They keep just pinballing back and forth now. Nobody's playing any defense at this point. It's just scoring. Bryant Jolly with the touchdown run. He's a tough runner. And then Wolf with the 2-point conversion. So
yeah, it looks like Wolf is getting the bulk of the playing time here. Well deserved for what he was able to show out.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing I was gonna point out was just that if you're looking for something to kind of hang your hat on, obviously you start 0-2. It's not ideal. You kind of got boat race tonight, so you're looking for something positive. I think when you look at what the offense have done in the second half when Wolf went in, you go, okay, maybe we got something here. And maybe we take a look at what this looks like next week and see if this is something different. Because, last week they got off to the good start, but then the offense stagnated. This time they just got behind the 8 ball early. They just need to, good team. Yeah, they need to get out early and just sustain. So who do they have next?
Battery Creek.
Oh, that's right. Man, doesn't it get a lot easier for them because that's going to be another pretty big physical, fast team.
That will be a home game for JP2 as well at JP2 against Battery Creek.
Yeah, Creek taking the bye game on the road. Pretty good stuff. So yeah, that's the big story of the night as far as news goes. Is that we've got football games in progress and about to wrap up. We also had some golf today at Pinecrest. Hilton Head taking the medalist honors over the championship over Beaufort and Bluffton. Shot a 179. Alexia Milbrandt, whose name we've known for quite some time, low medalist with a 41. Brooke Nicholas with a 42. Catherine Gavin a 44. Maya Singh a 52, Kalia Gardner a 60 for the Seahawks. So that's a pretty solid lineup they got there at the top with Milbrandt, Nicholas, and Gavin in particular. Those are 3 known names. So they're going to be pretty solid too. I don't think they're going to compete with the May River juggernaut, but they're going to be pretty sound. The rest of the teams.
Ron Grant's still over there coaching.
Oh yeah. Ron Grant, if we got golf scores tonight, the night of the match, Ron Grant's the coach because Ron Grant is the man when it comes to sending in the golf scores. He always takes care of us. He always gets them in quick. But we got a cool show lined up tonight. In addition to previewing all the games tonight, we're going to take a little deeper preview of the Bluffton Whale Ranch game by talking with Carnell Warren, the star wide receiver and DB from the Bluffton Bobcats and a kid that we've gotten to know pretty well over the last couple of years and definitely are going to get to know even better over the next couple because he is a budding star and is really picking up some interest on the recruiting front. So we'll be talking with him. Our presenting sponsor of the Lowco Sports Lowdown is our all-star sponsor, Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor. They came on in 2017 when we launched and wanted to support this platform to support local sports and celebrate our teams and athletes. And they've been with us ever since, supporting us every step of the way. Our biggest and most loyal sponsor, Mickelson Law Firm. Call on them for all your legal needs, but they are our official real estate closing attorney and the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage here at Lowco Sports. Thanks so much to Mickelson Law Firm. And our first guest tonight, if he's ready, we can go ahead and get him in here. I see him in the green room. I saw he was in there. Let's see if we can get his camera on. We got Carnell Warren joining us tonight as soon as he gets all set up here. What's going on, big man?
What's up?
How you doing, Carnell? Good to see you, man. I think the last time I saw you at Media Day, but before that,
yes,
it was during baseball season. I was over there, watching my kid play for McCracken over at River Ridge, and you and Aiden were out there getting work in. So I know that you guys put in the work in this off season. Tell us just a little bit about the grind you've been on and how excited you are to get this season started tomorrow night against Whale Branch.
I think the off season was really good. The whole team overall was just putting in a lot of work, and I think this season should be really exciting for Bluffton and me, and just the team as a whole. I think Coach Greg has done a lot for us these last couple of years and getting us ready. So I think we should be good.
And a new quarterback for you under center of someone that you have gained some rapport with and have played with a bit. Aiden McCarthy, you got to play with Owen Bays most of last year, but tell me about the connection that you're starting to get with Aiden and how he looks out there and how he's ready to lead the offense out on the field.
Me and Aiden have been playing with each other since freshman year, so I think our connection has been really well for a long time. So I think now is just his time to go showcase, and I think he's going to do everything well back there and do what he got to do. So I think he should be good this year. Really explosive kid, can run, throw, and do everything.
Yeah, he's been showing off the arm. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, looking at this team, you guys have a really explosive offensive team this year. And, going up against should be a talented Willow Branch team, what is y'all's game plan going into this game tomorrow night?
Well, not
without giving too much away.
Without giving too much away, yeah.
We don't want to get you in trouble with Coach Greg.
Our defense is really well this year also. I think not even just our offense, but our defense took a really big step this offseason. They all put in a lot of work. Really good defensive front. DBs all working. But offense, I think we're just going to stick what we can do best. Throw the ball. Shoot, we're going to run it, of course. But, when we got to take a shot and go deep, then we will most definitely do that.
Yeah, you definitely got some guys. You're kind of the guy who stretches the field, and you got some guys who really work well underneath. Obviously going to miss Brandon Bryant, who was a big play guy for you, but Nate Ulmer has proven to be a really reliable guy who can break a big one for you. Kyler Vick also in the same boat. Who are some of the guys whose names we might not know yet that we're going to know, by mid-season because they're ready to break out over there in Bluffton?
Well, we don't have Kyler Vick. He was a senior last year.
Kyler was a senior. He was the one who graduated. He was okay.
Right. He came up big in the Bridge Bowl last year, I believe.
Yeah, he did. Who's the other one who's returning? There's another one, right?
Maybe
not.
Nate's the only one returning. Me and Nate are returning.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Nate, as I alluded to in the preview for the Primer River Call this year in terms of the write-up, but there's always somebody who you don't expect that's going to step up for this offense. And so how are the young guys looking? How are the freshmen?
Who's the next up?
We got a kid named Roman Benjamin that just transferred in, slot receiver. Really good kid, physical, runs really good routes, gets after it, can catch the ball well. Tyler Wolf, really good slot. Ben Black, another really good slot. He's a senior, but he's just coming up now, just getting in the game. But everybody's got the rhythm for it. And I think Nate he's gonna be that man this year for sure. I think Nate gonna get it done.
I think he's gonna have a good year, man, because you're gonna draw a lot of attention, and he's gonna get open, and he's dangerous. He's a big, strong kid. And he can move. Yeah, he can move better than you realize, and he's sneaky good. Talk to me a little bit more about this year. Your second year over at Bluffton, you transferred over from May River as Aiden did. You alluded to that, playing with him since your freshman year. But, change of scenery often does somebody good. And it seems like you've gotten yourself in a position where you feel real comfortable with Coach Gregory and the staff over there. So I guess just speak a little bit about, how that change of scenery kind of helped you get in a good headspace and be able to kind of have a breakout year last year.
Last year, I think Coach Greg, whenever he brought me in, he knew what, he had to do to get me right on the right track and just get me focused. Because freshman year, I was a DB, I guess you could say. I was at May River, I was more on the DB side of the ball. I was on defense and everything. Came in my sophomore year, went for 700. I think that's pretty well for a sophomore out there. And then Coach Greg just trusted me and just let me play ball. And now I just worked my butt off and I'm playing. So.
Yeah, he broke through in a big way last year, Carnell, and it had to feel good getting that win over May River. That must have been a big one for you.
That's my favorite win. But I think I can't let that – it's over now, but in November we'll see them again. So,
speaking of opponents, y'all got some new opponents in what is a new region for you guys this year. And one of those schools is Buford High School. I know you guys are definitely looking forward to rekindling that matchup between you guys. How do you guys like the new region look this year?
I think the new regions is still a really tough region, a really good region. I think Buford's also a really good team, well coached. They're always brought together and everything. It's not anything bad you can really say about Buford, obviously. Tough game last year. Came down to last couple minutes, Brandon and Aiden clicked really late. Really good game right there. May River, a tough team, everything. I think the region just going to stay packed again. Just hard
anyone
fought
coming in
region.
from outside the Lowco.
Well, Hilton Head's putting a mollywhopping on Stall tonight, 58-0 last I heard. So
Yeah, I just heard
I
about
think
that
they're going
also.
to be tougher too. Timco's a lot to handle on offense. They got a lot of guys back on the offensive line. I think they're going to be pretty tough. If you can get ahead of them, they might get in trouble if you can force them to go to the air and stuff. But as long as they're in the game or up, I think they're going to be tough team to play. And Colleton is coming up, man. I mean, they got a lot of talent over there, and Kinlock's definitely got them fired up, got them in the weight room. So I think it's going to be a blast every Friday night when we get into region play. But we're not there yet. You got Whale Branch tomorrow night. Good little friendly county rivalry. You guys haven't played a countable game in a while, but you always scrimmage each other every year. So you got a little trash talk flying on social media between the two?
No, I think it's good blood versus Whale Branch.
All respect.
It's good blood.
All respect.
Versus everybody, I say. But when it comes to the field, just got to play football. It's Friday night. Everybody's trying to get a win, so.
It has to be special. You open up the season at the Bobcat Den where you get a ton of support from the students, from the community. What was it like and you guys have a great intro as well, where it was like a football helmet or a Bobcat or something that you guys run through to get on the field. But tell me about the electricity of playing these games on your home field over in the Bluffton Den.
I think a home game, first game of the year, is like really exciting. Just because starting it at home and just showing everybody like what we can do would be really good. And I think it will just bring Bluffton back to what it was. Last year was just like it was a rough year. We had to get over a hump. We sparked sometimes, but this year is the year where we spark. So I think it's going to be really electric every game that we're home. Fans will show out. Everything is going to happen. Coaches are going to coach. Players are going to play. So
it's a fun brand of football for sure.
Yeah,
that you
really
guys
is.
Play.
But we talk a lot about that electric offense, but there are some unknowns on defense. A couple guys lost from last year who were
one really big one.
Yeah, Jeremiah Curry. Yep, go ahead.
Losing Curry was really big, but I think it's actually better for our defense because now everybody has to play their role, and we can't really lean to Curry anymore. So I think with that being said, like our defense has came together way more off that. We got a sophomore kid named Malcolm Gordon, really good outside linebacker, young, and he's getting his head in the game. He's doing everything he's doing. Chris Doyle, Jr., D lineman, best D lineman in the state, if you ask me.
Dude, he had some games last year where he wasn't that productive, and then he had some where he was insanely productive. Like if you can get him to go like that every game, whoo.
This year's that year where he's productive every game. Yeah. You're gonna see a different Chris Doyle this year. All four of our DBs are set this year. Everything is locked down back there. And I think Jacoby, another linebacker.
Yeah.
Everything is just – I think Bluffton football is back to where it needs to be. Just keep our heads straight. Everything's going to be good.
Jacoby looking good. Jacoby Saunders. I remember him writing about him when he was like 8 years old or something, playing in some kind of big all-star game. Yeah, he's an animal.
Kid's young, and he gets his head in everything. So I think that's really good for him. Really good mindset. So
right on, man. Anything else, fellas?
Yeah, Carnell, you present some tremendous athleticism and have proven yourself at this level. Have you given any thoughts to what might await you beyond high school, beyond this year? Or what thoughts do you have about playing at the next level?
There's a couple schools in mind, so I think that's like really fun. Now that I'm narrowing it down and going to all these different schools is really fun, and playing at the next level is a dream as a kid. So I think it's just going to be like the best thing to happen. I'm just going to stay on the grind and just keep my head on the swivel and just do everything I could do.
Yeah, you've got quite a few offers already, right? Including some pretty big Power 5 offers. How many? What's the list up to now?
I have 10 right now.
10. All right. And what's the one you want that you don't have?
It's a couple I want that I
Yeah?
don't have.
Which ones?
But I'm gonna let Tom tell. So
Keeping that to
as the
yourself?
season goes by, I think a couple of those that I want, I'll have eventually.
All right. I love it. I love your mentality, man. I'm impressed. I know that you're definitely going to face a lot of double teams. You know, there's going to be teams who their game plan on defense is don't let him beat you. And how have you prepared yourself for that? For the nights where they lock you down because that's the game plan and somebody else has to beat you. How do you kind of fight through that adversity and keep your head up and keep playing?
Those nights, tough nights, like for the mental, but as long as I play as my whole, and if they just want to lock me down and double me and do whatever they got to do, we'll just either run the ball or throw it to Nate, throw it to Roman, Ben, Tyler, somebody else. Aiden can run it. It's not like it's just me on the team. So I think those nights are probably better for the team rather than better for me. And then sometimes I'll be open. They'll leave me one-on-one. They'll get caught slipping. I go deep.
That's right.
And boom.
That is the perfect answer, my man. That is the perfect
Yes,
answer. Well done. You're growing up before our eyes, Carnell. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Can't wait to watch you play this year, man. For real, it's been fun to watch you develop and get to know you, and we're excited to see what you do this year and see what it pays off for. A couple years down the road, see where you're playing then. So, anything else before we let Carnell go, guys? He's got to get to bed, get rested up for the big game tomorrow night.
No, let him go to bed, man. He needs his rest.
All
man.
right. Get that rest, Carnell. We appreciate you staying up late for us on football eve. And Wes will be out there to check you out tomorrow night, and we'll be on here tomorrow night talking about what you guys do.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a nice night. See y'all.
All right. Take care, Carnell. That's Carnell Warren. Great interview, man. He's truly growing up before our eyes. It's cool. It's cool to see the kids mature and get it, give the right answer, have their head in the right place. I love it.
I can't wait to go to a Bluffton game this year so I can watch them play. Watch that electric offense play, dude. It's going to be so much fun this year. And I agree with him. I really think this could be Bluffton's year. I think that Bluffton football is back to what we want it to be at. So I really, really, really like how this Bluffton team
I still got to think there's a sour taste in their mouths. What happened in that playoff game where they
– Oh, yeah. Richland Northeast.
Quickly. Was it Richland Northeast? Oh, man, that went south in a hurry. It was like
that game was bananas.
Basketball score game. It was offense all over the place.
That game was bananas.
Looking at that score, and I was like, wait, what now?
I believe, by the way, I'm not positive, but I think the WSAV Blitz game of the week may be the Bluffton Whale Branch game.
It very well could be, actually.
I thought it was, but I don't know that for sure. The only reason I thought that was because Andrew Davis asked me about Bluffton and Whale Branch, so I presume that he was calling that game tomorrow night. So keep an eye out. I think it might be on WSAV. You'll also have HHCA Battery Creek on Buford's Own, so you will have viewing options if you're chilling at home. And then at 9:30, you'll be able to go live with us for Lowco Pigskin live 2-minute drill. I'll be live from Hurricanes Sports Cafe.
Yeah.
It's going to be good times, man. I can't wait. I'm pumped up for it. I'm going to be running on fumes by then because the last 2 days have been so long.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But I'm still alive. I'm still alive. MVP sponsors of LowcoSports. Sorry, that was just word association.
No. Dude,
child of the 90s. Child of the 90s word association.
Keep
going. Flow. I the world like butterflies. Yeah.
All right, now you can go to the sponsors. We've heard enough.
Right.
You can go to the sponsors, man.
MVP sponsors of Lowco Sports. Starts with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports. She's with Keller Williams of the Low Country. She'd love to help you find your place in the Lowco or upgrade to a bigger, better place in the Lowco. If you want to get in the market, it's a great time with Megan Jarrett, official realtor of Lowco Sports. Homegrown home inspections will check out that home and make sure it is good to go. There are official home inspectors. And if you're building a new home, you've got to have the phased inspection where they'll check on it every step of the way and make sure it's built right with homegrown home inspections. Hospice Care of the Low Country, your official hospice provider of Lowco Sports. They provide hospice care, palliative care, free grief counseling, and much more, because at Hospice Care of the Low Country, it's not about dying, it's about living. Those are our MVP sponsors, and we are ready to welcome in our friend of the program from WHHI-TV, Mr. Marcus Walsh. What is up, buddy?
Gentlemen, how are we?
It is football eve. It is football. Actually, football's actually started already, but
I am tired, but I am inspired.
I tell you what, that was a pretty good impression of
my Eddie Vedder,
of the great Eddie Vedder that you just laid out there, JJ. That was well done.
I spent many hours in my youth listening to Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
yeah, big
heck
fan.
of a band.
You know, I also spent many hours probably singing along, trying to imitate Eddie Vedder's voice. I can also sing, the one about the Cubs winning the World Series.
Yes, right.
Yeah, that one makes me cry still. But
you keep doing that, I might try to get you
go into Elvis
choirs that I sing in.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not much of a singer. I
think you're a little too early for that.
A little
Marcus,
bit.
I've heard enough of your singing, man. I've heard enough.
I keep getting a new job. I keep getting a new job every week. It's out of control right now. It's completely out of control. But hey, boys, we got some football games to preview tomorrow night. A full slate of them, in fact. We'll run through it. We got Hilton Christian at Battery Creek. Interesting little cross classification matchup, or cross organization matchup, I guess. Hardyville, my boys, the Canes. We did a media day tonight. We set up the lights and everything, and did some interviews for our open house at the school. The Canes are fired up. First varsity football game since 2012. They're going to Bethune-Bowman. I like our chances. Beaufort at Fort Dorchester. That's a Donnybrook, if ever I saw one, every time.
Yeah.
Airport at May River is an interesting matchup. I like May River in that one. Whale Branch at Bluffton, which we talked about at some length already with Zoe Allen last night, Carnell Warren tonight. That one's going to be interesting.
Great game.
I think Bluffton's got a lot of juice, but Whale Branch is a scrappy team, and you cannot sleep on them. Colleton County, Hampton, I'm going to that one. I cannot wait. Even the kids at Hardyville are pumped about Colleton County, Hampton. Everybody's fired up about that.
That's a good game.
And then Eau Claire, Ridgeland. I think I'm going to have students at Eau Claire, Ridgeland, so we may have Hardyville students who are reporting on that one for us. And then on the Skeeza side, we got St. Andrews at Hilton Head Prep in the afternoon delight. Patrick Henry at Academic Magnet. We'll have the Stricklander out there. St. John's Christian at Colleton Prep. Bethesda Academy at Thomas Hayward. And Jefferson Davis at Cross. Defending state champ Jefferson Davis. Cross dropping to 8-man this year. So we'll see if they're a little more competitive in those ranks than they were at 11-man last year. It was pretty rough for them last year. But not going to be any easier starting off against JDA.
No.
The boys eat, sleep, and breathe football out there. So that'll be a tough matchup for them. But Marcus, you going to get out and see a game tomorrow night, or are you just going to be following us live?
I'm going to be following you guys live for really one reason and one reason only. I've got a fantasy football draft tomorrow night, which perfect timing for it, because of the fact that next week is our first game of the year. We'll have JP2 at Battery Creek next week. We'll be able to see Battery Creek twice. We will also see that HHCA JP2 region game in October that we're really looking forward to.
Okay.
But, we'll have a chance to see May River a couple of times. We'll have a chance to see Bluffton and Hilton Head as well. So a lot of the usual suspects in 4A, which of course is now 6-4A this year, But I'm really looking forward to this season. We're actually, and I explained this a few weeks ago, but I will again, we're staggering our schedule for a few different reasons this year, where we're not going to be at games every single week. We've got our first broadcast that final Friday of August next week. Right. And then we'll have a couple of games in September, a couple of games in October, and then we'll air a couple of games in November, where we'll go back to the studio and call one. Daniel and I will from the studio, whether that's the Bluffton May River or THA BA game. Obviously, we don't know yet. But we're looking at, a lot of the same teams from our area. I mentioned before, we will not see in person Whale Branch or Hilton Head Prep this year, but I am very, very excited about both of those teams. One team as well in Skeeza that I'm really excited about. I tried to follow them a little bit tonight, was JP2. Max, you were there, right?
Yeah,
it was a rough night.
Yeah. We talked about it briefly at the beginning of the podcast. We like the way they look. We just know that there are some mistakes and some things that they need to fix as the season continues.
It looks like I didn't see a final, but I think 48-25 was the final. They got down big. They clawed back in the second half. They made a quarterback change. Alan Wolf went in, and they had some success after he went in. Now, it was probably also against the second string defense. So, you got to kind of take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. But it did seem like they were a little more efficient on offense, took care of the ball a little bit better. So, we could see that move going forward. I think he and Moore are kind of interchangeable. So I don't think it may, or not Moore, Brown. I think they're fairly interchangeable. Like they were both kind of 1A, 1B quarterback, tight end, slot receiver type guy. So I think they can flip flop them. And like Brown played tight end last year, so it's not a huge deal. I think it may give them a little different look that they like better. Here's a final, by the way. We got a final, 65-0 Seahawks. No mercy. No mercy.
Of the 2015 opener that I called with Chuck Zapek. I filled in for Bob Stevens that night, where it was Ridgeland, Hardyville, and Hilton Head, and we were at the Nest Community Stadium. And I think the final score that night was like 68-14 Hilton Head. That was definitely a night that I'll remember for sure. I also
it was the Cobra Kai motto today over there.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
I may have when it was 51-0, I may have hit Coach Beach with the Cobra Kai No Mercy gif, and I guess they took the cue. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Yeah. Sweep the leg, Timko. No, I'm pretty sure. I know they had a rookie QB. I don't even know who the backup quarterback is because the starting quarterback's a rookie QB. So they said the rookie QB was in, and that was when it was 58-0. So they put up another one after that. So it looks like it's going to be a long year for Stahl. And it looks like, Hilton Head's got something. They got something. They just beat the snot out of a bad 5A, but a 5A. So they got a little something there. Good start for BJ and the boys, and we'll see if he pops in. He's got the link, so you never know. We may get a BJ Payne appearance after he, while he's waiting for him to get on the bus or something.
I feel a little bad for Stahl. I'm not gonna lie.
That's rough. That's tough sledding.
I
when they got the clock running in the second half.
That's not even the hardest team they're going to play this year. That's the other thing.
Their region is brutal.
That region. It is really bad. I honestly do feel bad for Stahl, but good win for Hilton Head High School. A great way to start off the season for them. I think granted, Stahl's not really one of the best teams to start off your season against. I mean, it's kind of I guess we could call it a tune-up game for Hilton Head High School. But
I think it is a good team to start your season with.
Yeah,
they have a tough.
Something said about having that not say less challenging game compared to having to face off against it. There's pros and cons to it, but I think for the Hilton Head team trying to rebound after a tough region slate where they were in a couple of games, they just couldn't pull out wins. It's always nice to just, and they certainly showed themselves to win the way they did, into the margin that they put up is absolutely what you want to start the year. And now you get ready for James Island, a team you know very well, coming up next week.
I'm eager to see some stats from that. That could be.
We could have some.
There could be some interesting stats.
Player of the week for sure.
Speaking of which, we didn't conduct our voting for Player of the Week this week, just because we were kind of running behind. But what we did do is we did ask people who they voted for the Player of the Week. So we should tell people who they voted for, and who the winner was. And it was, by a fairly narrow margin, Hartman Fisk from Carleton Prep. He had the 3 picks on defense. Yeah, I know he had some other stats, but all we got was the 3 picks. But I know he had a few tackles, and he had a broken arm to his credit as well. I'm sure he's not feeling great about that. That was an accident, but he was the tackler who on the play where the arm was broken. So that dude gets after it on D. A worthy winner of the fan vote for Player of the Week. Just narrowly edged Harry Cunningham from Hilton Head Christian with his 7 for 128 and 2 touchdowns. He got out the vote better than his teammate Reed McCollum, who had a massive stat line but only got 3 votes, so he must not have solicited the votes as much. Nick Underwood, he fared pretty well. He came in 3rd. So Carleton Prep folks, turning out and getting out the vote for their guy Hartman Fisk. He's our week 0 Player of the Week. And we'll put we'll get the whole panel to vote on it next week, and we'll give the fans 1 vote, and we'll each get 1 vote, and that'll be the panel. And we'll bring Marcus. We'll bring Marcus in on that as well. So WHHI has representation. But let's get into tonight's games after we hear about the varsity sponsors of LowcoSports. We got DDS Web Design, building, hosting, and maintaining websites for businesses and nonprofits to get results. So if you want to get found online so you can do more and think bigger, go to ddshhi.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties, and they're helping us continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. Dr. Ambrose Coles, our official chiropractor. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. And Reverence Wrestling Club is our official wrestling sponsor and the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. And you can go to Reverence Wrestling Club if you want to take your skills on the mat to the next level. Varsity sponsors of LowcoSports, we appreciate them. Let's get into the Friday night slate, boys. Starting with Hilton Head Christian Academy and Battery Creek. Very intriguing matchup. We have actually talked about this at great length, so I don't think we need to go into too much detail. But obviously Reed McCollum had a monster first game for Hilton Head Christian. That offense looks like it's ready to roll again. The defense looks pretty sus. I mean, 63 is a big number. They were really hurt on the ground. So this is a really interesting game to me because I think Christian Academy is going to put up points. But I think Battery Creek might as well. And I think if Creek can take care of the ball, I think they got the athletes to put up yards and put it in the end zone as long as they take care of the ball. Turnover is the one thing I think that could take them out of this game really quickly. Because Christian Academy, if they get extra possessions, they're going to score. They're going to pounce. So I think if Creek is in this game at halftime, we got a game all the way to the finish probably. But they got to stay in it early. They can't make mistakes. This is their first time out. So, but they're fired up. They like what they got over there.
I would definitely agree. It goes back to the last time that I saw Battery Creek when they took on Whale Branch last year. And yeah, Whale Branch struggled in the first quarter of that game, even the first half. It was 13-12 at the end of the first half of that game. Battery Creek was able to come through, and I understand this year's team's a different team, but they were able to come through and make some big plays and big moments in the first half, and then it was a runaway. 45-12 was the final score of that game. I could see a similar scenario with this one, and I couldn't agree more with you, Justin. If BC gets through the first half and plays like we think they are capable of playing this year. We heard Coach Susie talk about it a lot at Media Day. I think this does have a chance to be a pretty dang good game because I agree with you. The HHCA defense is going to be a little bit suspect. It so far is, and a little bit more as the season gets rolling. We've seen that too in years past as well. But I still like HHCA in this game. I think they just have a little bit too much offensively. Reed McCullough just really impressed me last year, and the fact that he's doing what he's doing now at quarterback, wow. I honestly, and I know it's really early to say this, but we were talking about, region winners and whatnot. Talking about JP2 and possibly some of the other teams, I don't see anybody beating HHCA in skis.
Pinewood Prep.
Maybe.
Pinewood Prep would be the one team, in my opinion.
Pinewood Prep's really interesting. That game's going to be really interesting. It's the first game of region play, and it's probably the region championship. And so that's really interesting to me.
And
Pinewood's good.
Would be surprised if they see him again. They could see him again for the state championship.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that either. I really wouldn't. I don't know what the other region looks like in 3A, but like Wilson Hall was pretty good last year. Are they still 3A?
Wilson Hall was good, but I think they lost. Wilson Hall had a good number of seniors last year, so I don't know what they're going to look like this coming year. But they would be one of those teams to watch out for in terms of other regions for Skiza. I will say this about the game. I think defensively for Christian Academy, granted, their first game was against a legit 4A contender and a very good running back in Flood from Porter Gowd. Yeah. So, to start off the season against a very dangerous, I guess you would say, triple option offense out of Porter Gowd that's really, again, legit contenders for a Skiza 4A title. I think going into this game, I think the defense is going to have a little bit better. Again, it's a very young defense, so you don't know what to expect out of them. If they can keep mistakes to a minimum, and the offense finds ways to score points, which they will, because that's just how they do it.
They will.
And I think if defense can find ways to, keep the mistakes at a minimum, I think it could be a runaway for Christian Academy. I think Christian Academy wins this one, but I think on the other hand, I think it could be a close game if Battery Creek fires on all cylinders.
Which could happen.
I'm really torn.
I am torn about this too because I would love.
I'm really Hilton and Christian Academy in this game. Now, I'm not saying that Battery Creek can't win it because I like the way Susie is coaching that team, and they have some guys that can make Reed McCollum uncomfortable, make the offense uncomfortable. And by the way, Hilton and Christian Academy didn't show up defensively, although give them a game to fix some mistakes, and they could be at another level with that coaching staff. He just
no doubt. And it's a kind of similar offensive look that they're going to see. They don't run like straight up triple, but they run something similar. A lot of misdirection, a lot of counters and stuff. They want to run it first and then throw it. But like Freeman he's really impressive. He's really fast.
Yeah.
Like that offense physically is going to look a lot like the one they faced last week. Whether they execute as well is the question. But physically, they're going to look very similar.
I think that's a plus for Christian Academy.
I think so too, because they just saw it. Yeah.
Look,
I agree. But also, they did give up 63 last week. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I'm doing it, man. I'm going Creek. I'm going against y'all. I'm going Creek.
Dude, that's totally fine because I was a bit torn for this game.
They burned me before, but
this could be.
I really like
those guys got a chip on their shoulder about this game. I do believe that, and they've been in the weight room. And I just know Susie's mentality, like his demeanor, was completely different this year than it was last year. He feels like he can compete this year, and last year he kind of knew that he couldn't, and it's a little different this year. So I'm going there. I'm going Creek. Hardyville, Bethune-Bowman. I can't tell you a whole lot about Bethune-Bowman. I can tell you that they fullback. He real big, but he real tall, so it takes him a while to get up. We saw that on film, I'm told. Our guys feel like they have a pretty good handle on what they want to do and a pretty good idea of how to stop it. So I think we're in pretty good shape. I met our quarterback for the first time today, Emiliano. He's got a good head on his shoulders, just sophomore. Our starting quarterback, QB1, got hurt, had a surgery. So Emiliano stepped up. He looks the part, man, and he's got a good mentality. So I think we're going to play well. Our offensive line, big physical boys. I think they're going to take care of business. We got Carlos and Juan. We got Jay Ferg. We got Trent. And we got Big Jermaine on the tackle. Jermaine is an animal. I think the Canes are bringing home the dub on Friday.
Ooh. That would be special. Excited to see Hardyville. Yeah, that'll be great to see Hardyville back out after a lengthy 10-plus year hiatus because they were originally Hardyville, of course, the one team combined with the two schools, originally Hardyville High School. Now the Canes are back.
Yeah, they're back, baby.
Yeah, Bethune-Bowman's coming off of a 1-9 season last year.
Yep.
I don't know what to expect out of this game. I'm going to go Hardyville with this one. I can't, because I don't know enough about both of these teams to give you guys a choice.
It's an emotional game for Hardyville.
It's a hurricane, baby. It's a hurricane.
Yeah, I think I got to go with Hardyville here in their first game in 10 plus years now. So it's a huge one for Hardyville. I think the hype's going to be there. And I think they get the job done against a Bethune-Bowman team who struggled a lot last year. So give me Hardyville.
It's a good first opponent.
I'll second that.
All right, it's unanimous. The Canes are rolling. Canes are rolling on Friday. Oh man, that made me so happy. My class is going to be so much more fun on Monday.
Always more fun after.
Second block's going to be a funeral if we lose. That's going to be bad. We got quite a few football players in there. That's where we talk film and stuff. All right, Beaufort at Fort D. That's that's become like an annual rite of passage.
Last
week one.
Game
I feel like this could be the Loco Sports game of the week right here. Like this is
unfortunately,
if we didn't have some really great Loco and Loco battles, it would be.
Of course, it's in Fort Dorchester. So
I think I think this is a Donnybrook. I think this could go either way because both of these teams are really strong, really deep in terms of talent. It's very tough. I'm gonna lean towards Beaufort in this game. I think Beaufort has a strong team this year. I think they're one of the, if not the favorite for the region this year. I'm gonna go with Beaufort in this one, but make it really close. I think it'll be a touchdown difference between the two.
I agree with that. Without question, Beaufort has had those types of games early in the year where they just ratchet up the level of their competition to test themselves for later on the year, whether it's a region game or not. And I think that this team is going to definitely battle in 6-4A. They may win the region, they may not. We'll have to see on that. But I like Beaufort close, as Lee Corso would say. I like Beaufort very close in this one.
But it's closer than the experts think.
It's going to be a good one.
Go ahead.
If you win this game, got to find a way to stop the run because Brian Campbell, just a junior, he came off a really strong season, averaged over 10 yards a carry. In terms of the quarterback situation, you're looking to see what happens there because both of those two who kind of shared time were seniors and moved on. So there are some questions on this Fort D team, but that's another squad that continues to, they're top 10 year after year in the high school league. They're a perennial solid program. So it's going to take something to knock them off for sure, especially when you have to go on the road to do it. It was at Beaufort last year, and Eagles put up a strong fight, but fell 34-17 in that matchup. And, still a fairly competitive, close game. And kind of same thing that happened the year before as well. So, they've played Fort D tight. Let's see if they can find a way to may string it together and come up with a win. Obviously, it's always tough to go over there and play right there in the Charleston area, South Carolina, because those fans will bring it. They always provide a good atmosphere. Even they travel on the road. They got a great road crowd that came over to Beaufort a year ago. So Beaufort's going to have to bring that strong road energy, and you'll have to get a strong effort from that defense, and a lot of returners from that squad who Bryce Lieben relies on to pick up stops and to deliver some emphasis defensively. And he has always had a great defense these last few years. And my question is, who's gonna step up at? There's always been that. I mean, Casey Fields, Jaden Andrews, the last 2 years. Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be the same thing it always is, where it starts out with 3 or 4 guys back there, and they see which one emerges. And I think it's Elias Johnson is kind of the front runner. He was pretty effective last year. But I also think they have had a couple guys who transferred in that we don't really know that much about yet. So I heard him, unless Amari's just blowing smoke, but I did drop in on Amari Patterson live, talking smack with some 4D guys, and it did seem like they had some transfers. He said maybe he's just blowing smoke. I don't know, but so you guys all got Beaufort?
Yeah,
I got 4D.
You taking Beaufort, Wes? You got 4D? I think I got Beaufort, and I think the difference for me is this game's been really close the last couple of years. Beaufort has the consistency, same coaching staff back, all that stuff. 4T's got a new coach, and first game of the year. I'm going Beaufort. I'm going Beaufort in this one. Take Gladburn and the boys, but like Marcus said, closer than the experts think. Airport at May River. I can't say I know that much about Airport. I know they're kind of a middling program. I think I like May River at home there. Although I would say like May River should win this. If they don't, then I might recalibrate my thoughts about May River going into the season. So, I'll be keeping tabs on that. Tim will be over there. Looking forward to seeing how that one goes. But I'll take May River. You guys?
Me too. I think this is going to be a really special year for May River. I've talked about it numerous times since Media Day. Just seeing that program at Media Day and how they have rebuilt things after a very difficult end the last couple of years. I think this is going to be a special season for the Sharks.
I agree with that.
Special.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be a difficult road to get to what special might mean, like winning the region or even getting like a top 2 spot. They're going to have to do a lot to get there. Not saying they can't, because chip on their shoulder kind of team, obviously, especially after they fell to Bluffton a year ago. But I love Coach Bonneville and what they're building, what they're creating over there. And if Tanner Macy can really take that next level, which I think he could, I could see May River competing in what should be a really close competitive region.
Absolutely.
And the defense always plays well. The defense always keeps them in some games. I'm not sure who they have. But
Yeah. The one interesting thing that stuck with me that Bonneville said at Media Day is, we've always tried to put our best athletes on defense, and this year we decided to put them on offense. And that's all well and good as long as you still have athletes on defense. So, that'll just be interesting to see if they've decided to put more eggs in the offensive basket. Does that impact what they look like on defense? But we'll see. Sam's laughing about something.
Airport finished 5-6 last year.
Gwen says we're gonna go crazy tomorrow. We're going crazy. We're gonna go crazy tomorrow.
I agree with you all. I think this is a very different looking May River team this year. I think they're a stronger team this year than they were last year. I think they're a real dark horse for this region. And we've talked about that a couple times about how this May River team is looking like a team that you don't want to mess with. So I'm going to take May River in this game over Airport.
All right. Everybody's on May River?
Yeah,
I got the
cool.
Sharks.
Yeah, I'm kind of bullish on them just because of the like I said before, the idea, the attitude, the mentality as they came in there. They carried themselves differently this year.
Yeah.
They're having more fun regardless of what that looks like on the field. But I keep trying to move them up, because I'm like, well, they seem to be high, riding high. I keep trying to move them up, and I can't figure out how to move them up. Like, I can't get them over Bluffton. I can't, and depending on what happens tomorrow night, I'm tempted to put Colleton up there too. So and then Hilton had blown out Stall tonight. It's murky, man.
Perspective.
I know that's the thing.
It's a top-heavy region.
Yeah,
May River could go second to fifth.
There's going to be a ton of parity in this region where you don't know what's going to happen.
Seriously, man. No matter what
Bo
sport,
echoes you guys. He says, "Real special season." Special's the word.
I like that. Seriously, this region, no matter what sport it is, this region always seems to be one of the most competitive in the state. And I feel like it's going to be like that this season for football because there are so many teams within this region that all look like real contenders.
Yeah, there's no clear favorite.
They'll probably sort themselves out more than we are thinking right now, but
there isn't a clear favorite.
It's going to be pretty competitive.
Buford.
Yeah, I
think Buford's the favorite, but Bluffton's not. They're the second favorite, not that far off, I think. And then
that game's going to be so much fun. That game's going to be so much fun to watch, by the way.
How are they going to look this year? And then it's
yeah, and then it gets real murky. But moving along, because we still have a bunch of games to go, and it's almost 10:30. Whale Branch at Bluffton, big one. I'm tempted to try to go Whale Branch, but I can't talk myself into it. I think Bluffton's just got a little too much firepower. But I think it's going to be, as Marcus Lee Corso says, closer than the experts think.
I completely agree. I'm really high on Whale Branch, as I said too, but Bluffton really has a good team coming back this year. Talking to Hayden Gregory about year 3.
Sam's on the brain.
This is the year. Something really could happen. Very special for that team as well. I'm going to go Bluffton again, very close.
So Jarrett Karkuff is gone. He's no longer there. So
yeah, but Gregory likes his new guy.
Yeah,
he already had a guy in play. He already had a backup plan in place.
I was just saying that. Yeah, it's new guy up there, but I still expect the offense to run like it did, and. Now, can you have those pieces step up defensively? That's the question. But I do think the depth and the talent a little bit more than Whale Branch has. Although I'm interested to see how the Warriors do defensively against McCarthy in that high aerial strike offense because they have some guys out there. I wonder if Bowers will play both ways because
I suspect he will.
Yeah, if he can.
They've never shied away from playing their quarterback on defense. I mean, last year their quarterback, they moved a guy who was primarily a defensive player to quarterback.
Yep.
They're Iron Man over there. Yeah, they're Iron Man.
And then why not put him at quarterback? And he took off there. So
they're tough in the secondary. Dayon Brown, I'm telling you right now, Dayon Brown is going to be one of the big breakout stars this season. He's going to have a big year. Catching the ball and on defense. He's a really good player. So look out for him.
Oh, God, it's
I think that game's interesting. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's a very interesting game. I really want to go with Whale Branch here, but I don't think they can keep that Bluffton offense at bay. I just don't see it. That offense has got too much firepower on it, and I just If they were able to find a way to keep that offense at bay, which I know I don't think they can. And so for that reason, I
have to get some picks. I think they have to get some picks for it to happen. They got to get some turnovers.
For those reasons, I just don't see it. I'm going to take Bluffton in this one, but I think it could be a close, maybe 10-point game there.
Yep. But then we've got Colleton County at Hampton County.
Oh,
this one's tough, boys. This one's tough.
Is tough.
I'm inclined to go with Hampton. I really, really like Hampton, But Sam says Bluffton will turn it over. Whale Branch, 2013.
Oh wow! Okay.
I like
I
that.
like it. Bold. Sam, we're gonna have to
I
get
don't
Sam on
disagree
here
with that
Monday to
one.
share his hot takes.
Yeah, man.
Colleton and Hampton, though. This one, a bunch of my kids at Hardyville are going to this one because Hardyville's out of town. They'd rather go to this one than the Ridgeland game. And our boys are on Colleton. They like Colleton in this game.
Yeah,
They
this
saw
one-
them at the scrimmage the other night. They thought they looked really good. So I expect a real Donnybrook here, but I'm taking Hampton at home. That environment is just incredible. And I think they got some guys that are slipping under the radar that are going to be known after tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Because of the home field, I'll go the same way. I think that Colleton's going to be very good as well. I'm looking forward to scouting May River and Colleton. I plan on doing that over at Colleton County here in a few weeks. But I'll go Hampton this one.
Love hearing from Kinlock the other day on the show. Great guy, great mind. He's going to do some big things, but I like Hampton at home. I like Hampton County to start things off with a solid victory over a Colleton team that I think is on the right track. But I got the Hampton County Hurricanes.
You know what?
I smell a contrarian in our midst.
I'm torn on this one because I think Kinlock and Colleton County have a really good team this year, like we've said, and I really like Hampton County too. I think Hampton County is one of the top teams in their division this year. No doubt there. But I think Colleton County is one of those sneaky teams that you got to keep a close eye on because they can run it up on you if you're not paying attention. I know it's a home game for Hampton County, but I'll take the upset here. I'll go with Colleton County on this one.
Max is wearing the Cougar head for Adam Kinlock. Sammy, by the way, going 34-12 Hampton. He's got Hampton big. He'll be riding along with me tomorrow night, so he might have to eat some crow.
If Colleton does win, it will be close. It will be very close.
Yeah. For sure, and it'll probably be low scoring. Eau Claire at Ridgeland. Eau Claire did not win a game last year. Ridgeland in a bit of turmoil. You know, they had to switch coaches recently, but he was already on staff. So I got to think Ridgeland could win this at home against a team that was winless a year ago.
Yes.
Yeah, give me Ridgeland.
Yeah.
Hey, remember how they started last year?
Yeah.
They won their first 3 games, and they
finished pretty good too.
Yeah.
Made it up 5-6. Made the playoffs.
Season. Yeah.
It was a solid season.
Put up a pretty good fight in the playoffs.
Now it's not. I mean, the last year they played with Artyville kids, right?
Right. Yeah.
But,
now,
yeah,
you know, they they lost quite a few. Now a number of the Hardyville kids were underclassmen who played JV at Hardyville instead of playing varsity at Ridgeland. So, you know, they didn't lose as much as you would normally lose in a school split situation. But then I think there may be some eligibility up in the air too around who is attending what school and where their zone situation. So I don't know what all's going on with Ridgeland. I'm obviously clued into what's going on with Hardyville. I hear what the kids tell me about Ridgeland, and I don't know how accurate some of that is. So I won't get too in the weeds on that. But there is some question about who will be able to play tomorrow night and who won't, and that could impact things. But I think Ridgeland, you know, I still like them in that game unless they really get decimated. But that's all our high school league games, including the crossover game. A few skeezy games will be a little quicker with these. St. Andrews, Hilton Head Prep, afternoon delight. I really want to pick Prep. Can you guys talk me into it?
Me too. I think I can talk you into it because I'm going with them. I'm going to go with Prep tomorrow. I think.
All right.
You know, opening
Dolphins
up
in the skid.
New era of Dolphin football. Doug McFadden really has that team going. Wyatt Harmer was really excited, along with the other guys, about the prospects of what could be a very good season to win, you know, a few games this year at least. I'm going to go with Hilton Head Prep, starting it off right. Afternoon delight at home. HHP gets the win.
I think it's about time. For Hilton Head Prep to get done. I was encouraged what I saw of Buford Academy. First game, you know, it's always tough under a new coach, and they were close to being very competitive in that game. Just a couple turnovers of difference. But I think back on their home field, afternoon sun and Sea Pines, always tough for other teams to come in and play there. I think they put it all together, and I think from what we saw with how strong they played in bits and pieces of that big game and how tough defensively that they showed at times to make it tougher. I mean, they forced Buford Academy to make some big plays, which they did. St. Andrews doesn't have that kind of firepower. The Edwards brothers are gone, and it's much more of a rebuilding team from what I've heard this year. So I think this is the chance for Hilton at Prep to snap that long extended skid, and I think they get it done in a very close one that could be decided by one possession or one kick, and I think Hilton at Prep snaps the skid.
What are you doing, Max? What are you doing?
You know what? I got to go Prep. I think this is a different looking St. Andrews team this year. I just don't see St. Andrews having the firepower that they've had before. I just think Prep is a much better team than they were last year. They showed some fight against Buford Academy last Friday. I think they're ready to win a few games this year. They're not going to be contending for a playoff spot this year, but I do think they're on the right track to getting back to what Prep football used to be. Contending for state championships at one point. So I do think this is a Prep team that's going in the right direction, and I think they'll start that right direction off with a win here against St. Andrews.
All right, so you three are tugging at my heartstrings, my Homer heartstrings, trying to get me to go Hilton at Prep. And then we got Sammy over here saying, nope, they won't win a game until next year.
Come on, man.
Oh, come on, Sammy.
Dolphins like that.
He's not that initiated on skis at 2A, so I don't think he's got all the information he needs.
I'll say this.
There's a couple of teams that don't need to be fielding football teams.
I'll say this. I'll say this, Sammy. My Hilton Head Christian Academy side does not want to see Prep win a game this year, but for me, I just feel like they're going to win some games this year, and they're going to be. I think that Christian Academy Hilton Head Prep game is going to be an interesting one when it gets there, because I think it's going to be interesting. But I do think
St. Andrews got beat 42-0 last week by a good team. Good team
from
Georgia.
Playing?
It was Edmund Burke Academy. They were 12-1 last year, but that was their first good year in a long time. But I'm guessing they're still pretty good this year.
Yeah.
I'm going Prep, baby. Give me the sunshine advantage.
Yes. Let's go.
Sunshine advantage. Give me the Dolphins.
Afternoon delight.
Put on the Dolphin head in the afternoon delight. Patrick Henry at ACMAG. That's another. I forgot. That's another crossover. Patrick Henry at ACMAG.
Interesting.
Pat's on top, baby. Pat's on top.
Yeah, I'll take.
Yeah,
defending 1A state champs after that incredible comeback efforts in that nightcap. Over Charleston Southern. Once again, I said probably one of the most might be my favorite game I've covered, football game ever. We've seen some good, but that one
really
might be my favorite ever.
Just a really fun game with a really fun group of kids and coaches and fans. Just really cool. I like the Pats in this one for Mac Gohagan. Baby.
Yeah. Yep. Give me the Pats. I'll take the Pats. That's one of the places I want to get out to this year. I want to see what a football game is like out there, because if the baseball games are that much fun, good Lord, what are the football games like?
Basically, the whole place is the right field mafia. That's pretty much.
Oh, great. All right, perfect.
At Cone Field. Over at
fireworks and everything. Let's go. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. It gets pretty hype out there. St. John's Christian at Colleton Prep. I like Colleton in this one for sure. I was impressed with them last week. At least they're young kids that have come up are tough.
They tend to start off on some good notes, and I think they go to 2-0 this week against a St. John's Christian squad that I'll always make you work for. It's never a team you want to look at.
Usually got some athletes. They usually got some guys who can break some plays.
Yeah.
You got to be disciplined against them.
St. John's usually has a solid, somewhat athletic squad. From what I saw and from what you guys are telling me about that Colleton Prep team last week when they played JP2, I think this Colleton Prep team is a real special looking team this year, and I really do think that they are well on their way to definitely possibly being contenders this year. We'll see how
I
that
think
game
so.
gets.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas Hayward's going to be a problem. That's going to be a
Thomas
problem.
Hayward's going to be a problem,
Yes.
but I think that's the game everybody's looking at right now is that Colin and Prep Thomas Hayward game because the way Colin and Prep looks so far this season, and we'll see how Thomas Hayward looks.
BA and PHA too, though, man. That region is bananas. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun.
Thomas Hayward Colin and Prep game is going to be absolutely amazing to watch.
Oh yeah,
that's like a must-2 game to go.
There's going to be a bunch of great games in that.
But I'll take Colin and Prep in this one over St. John's.
Yeah, good call. Warhawks on top. Marcus, you got the Warhawks?
I do.
Yeah, Warhawks. If we've learned anything over the last couple of years about that program, it's that it's a program. Like everybody, whenever they bring dudes up from the JV, like they hit the ground running. They're ready to go. So they just keep reloading the last few years. I'm pretty impressed with that coaching staff. Bethesda Academy at Thomas Hayward Academy, defending state champ against what we all kind of agree is the favorite to win a state title in 1A, and Thomas Hayward. This is a heck of a game right here, but
each other before for a state title.
Oh gosh, yeah, seems like a bunch of times. Felt like it. Felt like they went at it a couple times in a row. I think I got to go with the best player on the field, and that's Tonio Banner.
Tonio, touchdown. Tonio, quarterback. What are we going to call him? Tony Banner.
Yeah,
Tony MVP.
Yeah.
Tony Q Banner.
Yeah. I'm going THA.
Yeah.
Give me them Rebels. I think the Rebels win big in this one.
If I'm making like a futures bet on a state champ, it's on THA.
It's THA.
That's the one I put a futures bet on. Like they look like the real deal to me. They're some mean dudes, just straight up mean country boys.
They always do. They got some mean.
Antonio Banner, that Dodge Peoples, he's something else.
He's a dude.
Tall drink of water, nice mustache on him. Looks like he could walk right into the bar and order a beer and nobody'd even look at him twice. Look like he just got off work at the foundry, Now they got some tough boys, and I think they're going to be primed for a good season. Taylor Malphus.
We call those guys corn-fed.
Yeah. Taylor Malphus is a real good football coach and a real good – Taylor Malphus has the Riz, he's got the kids bought in for him. And I'm excited for that guy to get his shot as a head coach, and I think they're going to have a really good season. I'm glad they were able to maintain that tradition after Shuford left because, I mean, it was some tense times. There were people talking about they might not have a football team for a minute, and they pulled together and kept everybody in place. And I think they really exceeded expectations last year, and I think they are primed to be really good this year. And then finally, the 8-man game of the week. Every week, it's going to be our 8-man game of the week. Jefferson Davis against Cross. We got the defending state champs from Jeff Davis. I got a little bit of research on this game. It's kind of crazy, like crazy. Like fun with numbers, crazy, JDA, they outscored their opponents 510 to 219 last year. They return running back Nasir Void, who rushed for 1,424 yards and 17 touchdowns, as well as James Grubbs, who rushed for 971 and 10 touchdowns, and Colston Lodeholt, who rushed for 401 and 10 touchdowns. And Cross, meanwhile, they dropped down to 8-man after going 0-11 at 11-man last year. They returned 2 starters on offense and 4 on defense, and they gave up 61.4 points per game last year and scored 64 points all season. So this is the definition of a fledgling program in a mismatch here against Jeff Davis. So I'm taking the Raiders.
I would love to see Cross turn around this year, but that's a mismatch for the first game of the season. Yeah.
Wow. Goodness.
Yeah, there's no way. I'm taking Jefferson Davis for this one.
As am I.
I would love to see Cross, turn things around. It's a very, very new program at Cross. So I mean, they got a lot of years. Hopefully that, football program can slowly grow into a solid football program. But they're just at the start in this program. But I just there's no way they're winning tomorrow night. I'll take Jefferson Davis easily.
We've had them at Media Day the last few years. Seems like they are really trying hard to get that program off the ground with as much success as they can have. They just haven't been able to do it yet. And unfortunately, it's going to be Jefferson Davis tomorrow.
Yeah, I like Jared Shaw a lot, and I think he's really working hard and doing the right things. It's just you got what you got, and until you have an established football program, it is really hard to attract kids to come play for you because
it's also a new high school as well. That high school hasn't been there long enough,
Yeah.
So it's a very new school, very new program, and eventually it's going to grow and it's going to prosper one day. But it won't tomorrow night, unfortunately.
It's going to be
that Jefferson Davis team is just way too strong for Cross, and I just don't see a way.
8-man football is like a religion up there, man. Jefferson Davis.
Dude, it's no joke.
They're gonna bring it at them. But best of luck to those boys. I hope Cross gets a dub this year in the 8-man ranks. That would be great. I think they play the same 5 teams twice each, because I think there's only 6 teams in 8-man this year.
Yeah,
or maybe there's 10. There's or 12, and there's 6 in each region. And
that's exactly what it is. Yeah, 12 teams, 6 in each region.
And they play a double round robin.
Cross Schools has Jefferson Davis, Conway Christian, Holly Hill, Holy Trinity, which
Holy Trinity dropped. They dropped in.
I assume because I haven't heard anything.
But the Kings Academy slid in.
Yeah. Okay.
The Kings Academy moved down from 11-man.
Okay.
So they took on Holy Trinity schedule, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens every year. There's some team that can't field an 11-man team. They got to drop down late, and somebody who can't field the team at all, and they got to drop out. Woe is the small school. We were gonna have a football team, but then 2 brothers transferred, and now we don't have enough players. That kind of thing. So hey, boys, that's the slate. We ran them all down. We made it through it. Let's shout out our last round of sponsors, and we'll have some parting thoughts and call tonight. Lowco Booster Club supports us. Please support them. We got our buddies and yours, Marcus, the Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court from Charter One Realty. They want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. Also, your buddies, Eagle Creations. They got promotional items, custom apparel, gift baskets, all kinds of cool stuff. Go see their showroom on Argent Boulevard. Jay's Barbershop is a great place to be if you need a haircut in Ridgeland, or if you just want to go in for some great conversation. You can, chop it up and then come out with a fresh chop at Jay's Barbershop. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Chris Odom and his team get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. Every surface but dirt floors. That's the only one that can't get clean, no matter how hard they try. Hudson's Seafood House on the docks, the place to be on Hilton Head Island if you need brunch, a cocktail, a sunset, or a oyster po' boy Andrew's Way. The slaw, they got that blue cheese slaw, right? That kind of funky. It's got that kind of funkiness to it.
The Asian slaw.
Yeah,
in it, but
that's right. The Asian one. Yeah.
Asian. Yeah. I tried it for the first time the last time I was there. It's off the chain.
That's a banger. And finally, where I'll be tomorrow night, Hurricane Sports Cafe in Hampton. I'll be out there live at 9:30, running command on the Lowco 2-minute drill as we kick off Lowco Pigskin live early this season at 9:30 with live look-ins, post-game interviews, highlights, much more coming at you tomorrow night at 9:30. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow night. Boys, any parting thoughts before we get our beauty rest before the first big week of high school football?
Well, I have a couple things, but yeah, go ahead, Marcus.
Right. I'll just say real quick. Again, I'm not going to be at a game tomorrow, but we'll get started with JP2 and Battery Creek next week. Really looking forward to that matchup. Matter of fact, we'll see Battery Creek in our first 2 matchups because we'll have that Battery Creek Buford game September 20th. That's week 2 for us. I say it every year. I say it every season that I'm working with you guys and calling games for WHHI and working with my crew. Working with these kids and the coaches.
Preach that.
It's absolutely phenomenal. The kids are great on camera. The families obviously are there to support. The coaches teach the right way. They instill from fundamentals to the championship way and everything in between. And it's what makes low country sports, Loco Sports, WHHI, all of us really love what we do because of the fact that we're able to work with all of these people as well as with each other. It's just, it's phenomenal. And great to be with you guys, certainly, and looking forward to yet another season of football. It's going to be awesome.
Man. Can't wait.
Yeah.
What do you got for us, Max?
I have a couple things. They're not Loco related, I guess. Well, one of them is close to Low Country, but one of them is Joey Votto retiring. We didn't get to talk about that last night, but after I think 17 seasons, the man himself, Joey Votto, who I think is now in the conversation. I think people are going to start talking now. Is he a Hall of Famer or not? One day we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it one day. But
I'm a big Hall guy, but he's in there from me.
Yeah, I think he's in there. But I just want to say congratulations on what an amazing career Joey Votto had. The other thing was, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Savannah Bananas have signed a deal with TNT. Yeah. So they're going to be airing games on TNT. I believe it's 5 games starting. I think they already had a game on August 16th that they had live on either TNT or True TV, which is another one of TNT's channels. Really, really cool to watch them on national television. I think that's really, really exciting and really fun.
Now, I don't know if I mentioned this I think I did, but it was a random evening in the summer. I was looking for something to watch. I think it was like after the All-Star games, like we have the All-Star games, there was like no other baseball on.
Yeah, they were on ESPN, the Ocho.
Yeah, so they were on ESPN, and my guy, Eric Jones, hits a moonshot of a home run, which was cool because he, of course, I used to call him games when he was playing at Davidson. And now look where he is,
and he was our guest on Loco Diamond Dudes.
Yeah, that's right. We interviewed him last summer, which was a ton of fun. But great guy, and great to see him building a career that he probably didn't expect. This type of career for baseball, but certainly has worked out. And just once again, so awesome to see the success of this team that has really become a phenomenon, a cultural phenomenon, like so much beyond just baseball. Everybody knows who the Bananas are, and you just think about how they have enticed younger kids to be a part of the game in ways that we didn't expect. Of how and they played like an hour 30-minute game, which was the fastest game in Banana ball history, and they just make it so much fun, especially for the younger audiences, which allows them to fall in love with baseball at a young age in a way that really suits this generation. And I think that's important because it's hard for kids to sit through a 2.5, 3-hour baseball game.
Yes.
They cater to that new crop of kids. They make it fun, they make it entertaining.
They cater to the ADHD generation.
Yes.
Like it's nonstop. Even in between innings, there's no downtime ever. Yeah.
Whether it's a dancing first base coach or something, they make sure to fill that time and make sure there's something fun happening at every single point. And give credit because you got to be an entertainer. You got to be an entertainer as much as a baseball player. I mean, you see those trick plays that they do, and they have a counter of like how many trick plays they make.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. Like they're making insane baseball plays that you don't see at the major league level. So it takes a special breed to be a good banana ball player.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You got to have you got to be dripping with swagger. Like you got to have extra swag. You got to really care about making it look cool. The one thing that I would really say about the Bananas that has amazed me, I mean, obviously everything they've done is amazing. Their meteoric rise and just like their ability to think outside the box and market themselves and all those things. But it always made sense in person. Like it made sense why I worked in person. But the way they've been able to capture it in a video product, in a broadcast product, it still captures what makes Banana Ball special and the mania of it and all the extracurricular stuff going on. That blows me away because I never thought that was going to happen. I never thought that people would want to watch it on TV, but they've managed to package it in a way that makes it palatable on TV, which is surprising to me.
Even they expected it to. Maybe they expected to grow to the level.
I just didn't think it would translate, but it does. It works.
Yeah,
it really
for a lot
does.
Of people.
And it really shows that games that they're not in Savannah for. Like they were at Fenway Park this year, and they sold out Fenway Park.
They pack it out everywhere they go.
They sold out Nationals Park in Washington more than the Washington Nationals themselves have had.
It's crazy.
They sold out Minute Maid Park in Houston this year. I mean, the number of major league stadiums they have sold out is absolutely unbelievable.
World Tour.
I'm a Cleveland baseball fan. Born and bred, Indians, Guardians, you name it.
Yeah.
Going back to when the Indians were in the World Series in '95. And I saw when they were at Progressive Field a few weeks ago, lo and behold, Jason Kipnis.
Yeah.
I think he led off.
I saw that.
Those games.
How cool.
That's one of the great things they do too. Is everywhere they go. It's almost like WWE, where like you never know who the special guests are going to be wherever they go. Like they
have like especially at Fenway they had.
Oh my God, that's Jason Kipnis' music.
Yeah,
right.
They make it such like a show. I mean, it's a baseball game, but it's very. They drag it into a full on
presentation,
spectacular or a show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Circus, carnival.
Yeah, circus.
All right. So before we leave, on the subject of Joey Votto, I've got some sports trivia for you because I had to look it up. I was curious. Mm-hmm. Joey Votto ranks 3rd among players born in Canada in career WAR. This is Baseball Reference WAR, 64.52. The 2 who rank ahead of him are in the Hall of Fame. Who are they?
Oh.
Canadian-born Major League Baseball players.
Canadian-born players.
You definitely have heard of them both. They're in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
One of them I think somebody will get. The other one I'm not sure. Canadian-born baseball player. One of them was definitely in my wheelhouse. He's still probably a little before you guys' time, really, but he was a great slugger of the 90s. Played most of his career in Colorado.
Oh, Larry Walker.
Larry Walker.
Yes, sir. He ranks 2nd on the list. Number 1 was a pitcher who was best known for pitching for my favorite team.
Ooh.
Royals. All right.
A lot of people don't realize he's Canadian, so this one may slip through your fingers.
That'd be the Cubs,
probably will.
Yeah, it's the Cubs.
Your team?
Yep.
Ferguson Jenkins.
Oh yeah, I would have never.
Oh,
Fergie Jenkins. Fergie Jenkins. He leads the way among Canadian-born players with 84.18 WAR.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
quite
some solid trivia right there.
Yeah, really good trivia, right? I was curious though, because I was about to say, like, is he the greatest Canadian baseball player of all time? So I had to look up the WAR, and I'm glad I didn't say that because he's not. But he's the third. He's the 3rd best, and it's a pretty wide margin between him and 4th, which is Russell Martin, and he's got like almost 30 more WAR than Russell Martin. So, and then you never heard of most of the guys after that. You heard of Justin Morneau and Jason Bay.
Yep.
But a lot of them you haven't heard of. Jeff Heath, Russ Ford, John Hiller, Terry Puel. Yeah. It's a real landmine of obscurity out there.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, that should do it for tonight. Thanks so much for hanging out. It was a fun one. It was a long one. And we are all primed and ready for Friday night. So thanks to Carnell Warren for coming on and talking football with us. Thank you, Marcus, for riding along for as long as you did. It was great having you. Always love to talk football with you. And thanks to all of our sponsors who make it possible, especially the OGs, our all-stars, Mickelson Law Firm, Thanks to all of you for showing up to listen or watch, and everybody who supports Lowco Sports and all the athletes in the Lowco. We're shining a light on all of them, and we appreciate you supporting them as well. We're all one, baby. One Lowco. Let's go out, get some dubs tomorrow night, boys. We'll see you tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Lowco Pigskin Live for Wes Kerr, Max Arraj, Marcus Walsh. I'm Justin Jarrett. Go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.